Hey, what is up, everybody? How's it going tonight? What's up, Large? What's up, Pudgy? Yeah, Pudgy, I did switch out one of the emojis. Yeah, just mix it up. We get more eventually, and we could always add it back in and all that stuff. But hey, what's up, traveling through? Traveling through. I'm behind on your videos. I have them on my list to watch, but I'm gonna be. I saw the thumbnail and title for the one, so I'll be curious to hear your opinion on the Renee Ayres tires that you were talking about. Because, well, I'm a big fan of the ones I've had. The Hurricane Ridges I always run on the rally, and then I'm also curious to see how you're going to pronounce it, since everyone makes fun of me for my pronunciation of it. So Rick said, "Oh, you just Terry B streaming live right now? Oh man, go back over there. He's better than I am." And Pudgy said, gave up his blue moon emoji for this. Yeah. I well, one thing. I mean, I still have to explain the VGNO once in a while, but how many times do the regulars want to have to hear that story for the noobs? So I don't know, but yeah, I think so. The number is about to go up on emoji, so I will be able to bring it back because it goes up with however many members and how long people have been members and stuff like that. So what's up, Malk Hogan? What's up, Raymond? Oh, and Pudgy, speaking of this, I don't know if he is in here. He probably would have said hi, but Disco Elijah was going to stop by last week, but he was going to go to Ray's and swing by on his way back, but he ended up not going up there because the person he was going with got sick. So I was going to have him bring this back for you for your birthday, but since it didn't happen, I'll show you and I'll have to ship it. But I did my focus score this. So I did get you a birthday present, Pudgy, that I will remember now to get shipped out. So 16 hole nuke proof hub. So traveling through, you said you're loving the tires. Awesome. Yeah, I still will definitely watch the video. I'm just, yeah, like, well, as you guys seen, it was a busy week. One, took the day off all day on St. Patrick's Day and probably was passed out. Well, should have been passed out earlier. Would have been better off. But we held it together for a long time. Hung out with Large in the morning. Then he went to work, and then Otis for a while. We did some riding, and they split off. Me and Snacks went to Highland Square to visit some friends, and our plan to keep eating everywhere we went broke down once we got to the Highland Square area, and me and Snacks ended up getting pretty buzzed at that point. So, yeah. But yeah, so between a busy week and like having zero accomplishments on Thursday, behind on stuff. So we also took advantage of the nice weather on Monday and rode most of the day as well. So, but yeah, I got a Insane Wanderer here. They changed the can label, which looks cool. But then they also wrote Volume 1. The original didn't say that, so I wonder if that's just for the artwork. It doesn't say anything, and they're going to be changing up the flavor. So it's a Columbus Brewing, always one of my favorites. So yeah, maybe the box had something about it. I didn't really look. Ran across and grabbed this right before the stream started. So, hey, what's up, Malk? How's it going? Jay Dandy. Rick. What time was the first beer cracked on St. Patrick's Day? It would have been about 8:30. So in the video I made, if you see, I'm riding with our buddy Bob, and we got to the bridge about 8:30. I think Large got there probably within 5-10 minutes by 8:40. So, yeah. So, so we had a beer, went and got breakfast, and then we rode to Barberton, which is about, I think, from downtown Akron, maybe 8-ish miles, 10 miles. So that was part of my plan. And then even though I had already had breakfast, I made sure I ate when we got to Barberton and then rode back to Akron. And so my goal was to not just sit around in the same areas and end up getting totally wasted. But that did end up eventually happening anyways. So Which, Pudgy, your comment about the hub, I'll have to look and see if they've added anything because they hadn't when I checked 2 weeks ago to make the members special chats like pop up on the screen. I'm hoping they do because that would be awesome. But yeah, as of last check, they don't have any way to animate that yet. But oh yeah, and speaking of the Grav emoji, I ordered. I mentioned this before, but I did finally end up getting around to ordering the clear backed version of the Grav stickers. So it'll be this color logo, but in the small size, so it'll fit like on bike tubes. That was kind of my idea. So light colored frames that'll look really good on. I like these white die cut ones for like helmets and for dark colored bikes, but for light colored bikes, the clear ones are going to be really cool. So those will be in, it says March 30th. And then Rick, I made the library, they're already done. I just ran out of time because I just came straight from a photo shoot. I'll pick them up tomorrow. I have the This Machine Kills Fascist stickers, and I had them print them long and narrow so you could put them across bike tubes as well. So we could really annoy some people with those, like I did when my post got taken down on Reddit that showed my bike with that on it. And then also at the library, I had to make the industrial gravel logo. So I'll have all those stuff online. Like I said before, This Machine Kills Fascist stickers are I'm gonna put them up for like $1. So it'll basically just cover my fees, stamp, and envelope. I just want people to have them. So especially seeing how mad it made some right wingers. I really love it. If you get offended by the word fascist, it means you're a fascist. That's the only thing it can mean. And it was just like fascist, like I said, to get my post taken down. They reported me to the authorities. So what's more fascist than that? Anyways, I'll move on from that stuff. But oh, I've got to read it in the voice. I forgot about that, Pudgy. I can't do it. my horrible. I thought that rule was only applied to when I forget to turn up the desktop volume when people do paid super chats. Maybe we'll come back to that after I finish this beer. Hey, what's up, Jay Dandy? Pudgy's bit just exploded. Did someone else jump in here that I missed? I think I missed Jay Dandy. Did I say what's up to Malk? He said he put the Grav sticker on the SL Ogre. Yeah, much quicker now. What's up, Dylan? How's it going? The Toger. Hey, what's up, Lanky? Fascists don't wave. They do. They have a certain way of waving, which I'm not going to do on camera. Depends on which country the fascists are from. So. Do you want to see it again? I think Pudgy, I'll wait till the clear. Grav stickers come in because I know you had mentioned wanting one, and then I'll ship this on what is the 30th next. I don't know. I'll ship it then though, so I could drop a couple in the box because this will. But this is super light. You wouldn't even believe how light it is. I can't remember if this one is because this was a little different than the one I have. I think this one might have titanium bits. I don't know which. So, but yeah. Does it say on here? Let's see. I'm pretty sure it is though, because mine is black. I think where the central part of the hub is, mine's black. But yeah, fascists force you to wave. Hey, what's up, Emilio? Oh yeah, the beard is coming back. Awesome. Yeah, we have the clear And I'll drop in a couple. This machine kills fascists ones for free because, like I said, I'm only trying to cover my costs with those ones. So I could drop a bunch of those in the box if anyone wants them, Pudgy. So, oh, so this hub has a tie core and mine is a carbon core. Gotcha. I age quickly. I saw Rick had dropped a drink photo in here. Oh, deviled eggs too. So whiskey punch and what is that? Some kind of pork or chicken? And on a coleslaw. So would that be pork? And then deviled eggs. I love deviled eggs. I think it was. I think there was always like one of my family's get-togethers, maybe 4th of July, where someone always had deviled eggs. They're so good. Then Erin made some absolutely killer ones once. Uh, Malk has a PBR. I was drinking some PBRs on Saturday, and it was actually uh, a mechanism not to drink too much because uh, my buddy Eric is in town from Boston, and so we went out to the bar we used to hang out at when we were younger, Annabelle's. And I was actually drinking PBRs to keep from getting too drunk, but that's what I would have been drinking there back in the day. So, and it worked. I mean, it's funny because when you're hanging out, like that motion of drinking, it's just something you're gonna do if you're a drinker like me. And so drinking something low alcohol without a lot of flavor, it makes a really big difference. At night, in the summer, you'd probably end up crushing, just doubling the rate of drinking those. But do I have an how do you pronounce that? Endoscopy camera? I haven't watched that pathless pedaled video where he put the camera into the bike frame, but me and Rick, the Rick who I bought the building from, actually bought this long lighted tiny camera, and I think it is still on the other side of the basement. I'm gonna go. I thought of that when I saw that pathless pedaled title because I think we were trying to see from the roof down into the standpipes and internal workings here of the building once to try and find out where something went because we were getting water inside. So I might have something that would work like that. I'll have to look into it. But yeah. Oh, that was pheasant that Rick was eating? Huh. Smoked chicken. Oh, smoked chicken. Nice. Oh, so the deviled eggs had smoked yolks. I'm trying to remember what Erin did with hers. She's already asleep, so she's not watching tonight. But she did something, it might have been something like that too. She did something that made them extra delicious, but Malk, you take that back. Best flavor in the land. Hey, what's up, K Will? He said, do you think it's worth it to restore a late 80s Centurion Signet? Hey, what's up, Blackball, too? Let's look it up real quick. I actually, off the top of my head, am not familiar, but usually, even from a couple pictures, I could tell. I better put bike on there. There's a lot of stuff called that. And also, like I always say, like when you say restore, it depends on are you going to make the bike rideable and then enjoy it? Because that's always two different things to me. So, like the two low end Peugeots I've fixed up and the bike I was riding on St. Patrick's Day aren't worth restoring to get any money out of them. The money I've put into them is worth it because between the three bikes, well, one's brand new, so I've only got 2 rides in on. But between like the other two bikes, I have thousands of miles on them. Like I've ridden the Gap Trail on the Roger Riviere, which is not worth anything besides some of the nicer parts I've put on it. And same with the Peugeot. I bought it for $30, so I've spent more money in tires and cable housings for that bike than it's ever going to be worth. But was it worth it to me to fix it up? Absolutely. Is it worth it if you're trying to flip it and it's a low end bike? Probably not. Um, I'm finding all kinds of stuff that's not the right thing. I'm finding nicer stuff. See if did anyone else drop an opinion on him? But oh, Yonda has the endoscopy cam, not a Centurion. Yeah. Devil an egg and a chamois. Satanic eggs. Hey, what's up, JMZ? Yeah, and Pudgy's got a good point about restoring an old bike. Like, what does it take? Um, you know, most old lower end bikes are not worth restoring, but like I was saying, they're worth fixing up to make them rideable, long as it's not too far gone. A cheap rusty bike, no, you could get a cheap old bike in good shape. So I wouldn't get too crazy. Um, I don't know why I'm having a hard time finding. I'll do the quotes, put Centurion, Signet in quotes, and see if something else comes up. I'm finding a lot of expensive, very expensive bikes. Like a lot of people have models named that. Like there was a Le Mans model, and stuff like that. So. Here's someone who actually has a blog about restoring one. No, it's a bunch of old links. Let's see. Let's see, it's stem shifting. So what I would say, you have stem shifters, which leads me to believe it's low, like you said, lower end, but cheaper. It does have that guard around the chainring. The dropouts actually don't look that cheap. Let's see if you can't zoom in on any of these pictures. But so someone here has clearly restored one like really nicely, but looks like it might be indexed too. I wonder what the frame material is. That would be a big indicator as well. But yeah, worth it just depends on what you plan to do with it. Not sorry, Jay Dandy, didn't mean to get you excited with that flash of map up there, but oh, Rick, you were asking what is different about the background? No, everything. So the difference about the background is, I'm pointing it more towards the corner for sure, but I painted these shelves over here and organized them. So uh, my goal was to get this much more cleaned up in here. I also moved my bike that was on the trainer, and the trainer were sitting in the way, so I couldn't move this far this way. Let me zoom out and show you guys, because I'm pretty happy with this. So anyone who's been here, the next time you come, you'll realize it's a lot nicer now. So yeah, all these shelves have been cleaned and reorganized. So I put in a bench here, and I'm gonna paint some wood white and put it around there so you could lean back. So when I have extra people in here, there's more room. So just kind of cleaned basically all of that area way up. And the trainer, or my bike that's on the trainer, is sitting upright over here, so it's out of the way because I won't be riding that till, well, if I ride the trainer again, it'll definitely be not till late next fall. So yeah, that's why everything looks a little bit different, because I'm standing more that way right now since I've made it look a little nicer. But yeah, Erin's always wanted to be able to be in a peanut gallery and hang out. So her and I think Michael were talking about it, so that couldn't be an option now. And it's just easy. It's nice to be able to move around in here and just have it feel cleaner. Like where I have all the computer stuff sitting, I took everything off, cleaned everything out. So even though I didn't stream last week because I was busy in the evenings, I did get everything here in better order. So leave it wide. You like it wide? Is that a better? How about halfway? Do we compromise half wide? I've got my TV stand in there. Yeah, studio audience. So yeah, Dylan. Next time you're up, especially once the well, now we already had the time change, which is great. But even more so as the sun sets later, you'd be able to ride until closer to stream time. Well, now we're getting sunsets at what, 7:40? So yeah, I think I'm going to do on my photography channel like tour of like the stream area and the different sections of the studio. I started that photography channel. I haven't done much with it yet, but I've mentioned this before. Susan, who works here, the photographer who's worked here since, well, the year I graduated high school, so way before I even knew about Rick or this place, is retiring on March 31st. So she's done. So I think a lot of the videos that I would do for the photography channel will actually get done now. I have ideas about it. But a big impediment to me doing those is it's weird for me to talk to a camera when someone else is around, so I'd only ever try and do them in the evenings. So now that for at least a little while I'm going to be alone at the studio, I haven't decided if I'm going to try and get someone in here yet. I think a lot of those videos I want to make uh, will happen because I'll have time to do it during the day. And same with even some of the more like the videos where I talk more about bikes and stuff like that. I think I'll get to more of that stuff now. So yeah, and maybe even some of the afternoon streams, as we've talked about once in a while, where I'm just plan to work on something on a bike. Where since I have everything set up here, maybe I'll just turn the cameras on. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And then I'm also, as I think I mentioned, turning the front of one side of the studio into kind of like a storefront, and I'm going to have an event here. Haven't decided on the date yet. I need to start building it out and planning that. But Micah has made me some t-shirts and some stuff to like sell at the event, and I'm going to get some prints made and all that kind of stuff. I'll keep everyone posted about that. If you're local and you want to come out and hang out, have some beers, or just check out the studio place. So the live streams would be interesting with an Ed McMahon co-host. Yeah. Don't cut yourself on your phone screen, Kay. Yeah, it'll be a yeah. What to say? It'll be a while till the trails are open. You don't know. My dad was just reminding me last year in March we had 2 weeks of weather that were perfect and dry, and he was saying he was in the back of his yard where you could usually never get. This week it was raining when I got home, and it looks like rain for the next couple of days. So yeah, who knows? We could get snow again. I just recorded a voiceover about full spring, false spring, and real spring for. I think I'll put it out on Thursday, but it's like talking about that kind of stuff in Northeast Ohio. How excited we get when it gets warm, but we know in the back of our heads that it could go the other way again, and that's why we feel like we have to take such advantage of it. Even Monday, looking at the weather for the week, I was like, I have a lot to do, but I have to get out on my bike. So I went out with Large and Brad and Erin. So yeah, Rick, Philly is kind of it's a hike to just hang out for a little bit. I rescue a lot of things from getting drilled out, Pudgy. I did rescue it before it got drilled out, though. It's new old stock. You can't change it. I don't. Like you said, if it had been used or something like that, maybe, but. Or once it's in whoever is going to eventually own its hands, then it would make sense. But yeah. Good thing about the Valley, Dylan, too, is what maybe we could even link up with Lanky and do some of it, because a lot of Lanky, the gravel he showed me and some of the stuff we already know, like you've ridden, Dylan, like old AP is still stuff that's fun to ride. Even uh, you don't need the weather to be good, even if the mountain bike trails aren't open. Uh, Stuff like that. So Rick moves into Susan's studio. Oh man, we would be. It would be like the odd couple. It would be like when I did work with the actual Rick who I bought the building from, because we mostly get along, but then we'd also sometimes be at odds. And with the realtors. Hey, what's up, Gary? Well, Rick has stayed in the basement before, so let's look at a couple bike picks real quick, and then I think jump into messing with the Marin, and then we could go back to bike picks after. Just gonna go from the bottom up for a little bit, jump into Pudgy's meetup ride too, but let's see. Oh, this is a Malk setup on the. Oh yeah, see the Grav looks good on there. Oh, you got a nice Paul component sticker too. Santa Cruz on the Straggler. Wait, I thought you said this was the. Didn't you say Ogre? Doesn't that say Straggler right there? Oh, Lucas sticker. Did you guys watch that Lucas stuff on Instagram? I haven't watched his YouTube video yet, but he went to Ukraine, like riding with the tanks and stuff like that. Crazy. I mean, not that surprising for Lucas, but that even that is a step beyond what I would expect. Oh yeah, Mark, you didn't go DSO. Drives that out. Drives that out. Hey, what's up, Michael? How's it going? Oh yeah, Rick also telling me how to do things. Hey, I'm actually pretty open to criticism, but and constructive criticism, but yeah, that is an interesting saddle. What did you? Lanky says it's an SMP saddle. Hey, what's up, Joe G? Oh, Pudgy. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, Malk has the Straggler, Ogre, and Karate Monkey. So, oh, that's right. He had to have it this side out because that's where the Grav sticker is. Oh, this is close to where I stayed, huh? Rick's photo. What are those pedals, Rick? Are those the real wide ones he used? He showed on Pathless pedaled once. I'm deciding on what pedals to put on the Marin too. I haven't. I think I want to get the Deity Blade Runners, but I'm also open to doing something different since everything about it's a little different. Is that hand sanitizer that hooks onto your handlebars? Watch it, Rick. There may be no one left to tell you the chain line for a 2 by. Black cats are the pedals you like, Pudgy? I does well. I'll probably get something they sell at Dirty River, to be honest, or they can order just to keep going through my local bike shop. But you should put some helicopter tape on your fork, Rick, when you're going to use those kind of mounts, especially with a bike like this, so you don't scratch it all up. Just my opinion. Oh, the pegs are cutting up your shins? It's funny you say that about the pedals, Rick, because when I put the Blade Runners on my Raleigh, which our deity Otis was warning me, he was like, with how much we ride weird stuff and also drink, that it could be a problem. But I haven't actually had that problem. You know, everyone, when you're a little kid, you end up kicking your pedals around and they nail you in the shin. But luckily, I haven't cut myself. The only times I have actually been on the back of my leg. Um, and I think I even did that a little bit on St. Patrick's Day, but I've spun it around, or my foot slid off the pedal. I'm not sure because it was St. Patrick's Day. But oh, Deity's black cats. They're cheaper alloys. Interesting. Gotcha. So they would be able to get them. I'll have to check that out. Um, yeah, I'm a big fan of the Blade Runners. Not a fan of the compounds. The bear traps are a little for the cheaper plastic ones are a nicer shape, as we've talked about before. This is Farley's bike. Oh, he's got fixations on there. Looks like for talking about pedals. Let's see. Look at the. Joe G asked if anyone's ridden the Space Horse. I have a ton of friends who ride Space Horses. Tons of. I mean, like, I think there's more Space Horses in my broader circle of friends than any other one bike. Right, Large? Wouldn't you say? Uh, so the Space Horse, Otis from the local bike shop, the owner, always calls the Space Horse like the spiritual successor to my Raleigh Tamland. He says they're very similar bikes. Space Horse can fit slightly wider tires, I believe, but Dylan, everyone's talking about pedal and pedal pin marks and all that stuff, and Dylan said choosing a component based on how it will ride when wasted. Well, you know, yeah. So I think I think it's pretty safe to highly recommend a Space Horse as a endurance road bike, gravel bike for sure. They're just yeah, they seem like great bikes. And Dirty River keeps selling them, and so many of our friends ride them. So, and I've never heard anyone complain about them in any ways, and I've never seen anyone break one either. So, yeah, that's Bob Darrow's riding one right on the same. No, he's not riding it on that one, but he has one. Uh, what? Funny Brad, Bob Darrow, uh, Kenny. Yeah, just a bunch of people watch this channel, a bunch of people in real life. So. And the price of a production bike versus a custom bike as well. So, yeah. Death Traps. Hey, what's up, Rusty? Yeah. What did I call him? I called him something wrong, but I think Death Traps is what I meant. Oh, yeah. Ames has one. We just saw Ames on our bike ride on Monday as well. We passed her out on the road. Yeah. Oh, Rusty met someone with a titanium Space Horse. Nice. Looking down at my foot because I must have banged it on something. It's hurting right now. Oh, I said bear trap instead of death trap. That's right. There is a pedal called the bear trap, isn't? Oh, those are those classic. Are those MKSs? The bear traps? They have kind of like the rounded, well, bear trap like shape. D straps. Oh, Rusty's drink is Missing Mountain Coattails. Were you out at Missing? Were you that close to me, Rusty, and you didn't say what's up? Or do they sell this somewhere at where you hang out? Banged it out my mouth. Missing Mountain is literally what, a mile and a half, maybe 2 miles from the studio. So this channel is getting dentisty with all the titanium. when when Rick moves in, I could throw it over him for the pedal break, so we don't have to hear that tuna song everybody hates. Oh, Dylan says he has So I was right about that. MK. I'm starting to learn stuff. You guys have taught me all about bicycles over this last year and a half. I have MKS bear traps on my cargo bike. Not grippy at all. Gotcha. Oh, then Rusty said he got his drink at Lucky's Market in Cleveland. I actually didn't know that Missing Mountain was distributing. If you make it this way to ride again, we should swing by there in the summer so you could see their back patio. Like I said, it's right around here, but it goes down to the Cuyahoga River, and it's kind of just cool because all of a sudden you walk out back, and you don't feel like you're where you just walked off of, which is a very busy road, or reasonably busy road. So cool spot and good barbecue. Kenny hates it when we talk about him because he's missing falls. So don't mock the boat. Oh yeah, so then Pudgy had your group ride. Was that like kind of like half group ride, half birthday? Yeah, 40 miles for 40, right? Is what Pudgy's birthday ride was. I still wish there was a way for me to side scroll through these pictures so I didn't have to close in and close back out. Is that a space horse in the photo there? Was that, or is that something different? No, that is a. What were those? Well, I'm trying to remember what those red, white, and blue all cities were. Rusty, I say if it's optional. Oh, you're saying it was a birthday ride that you didn't expect many people to show up at. Like just I think you said in the caption like a few people and it had a great turnout. Then what is that? A blue diverged behind there? Diverge, not diverge. What's the bike with the cool paint job in front of the All City with like the stripes? Oh, someone has whiskey wheels and a whiskey fork on that All City too. Ah, the Cosmic Stallion. That's right. I forgot about. Yeah. Oh, we got a little debate here because Large said the Nature Cross. Weren't the Nature Crosses only made as single speeds? I shouldn't argue with a guy who works at a shop that specialized, well, not specialized, but sells more all cities than probably any other shop around. Hey, what's up, Sean? He says he's all about the tuna boat song. Yeah, I think they're just trying to give me the the what is that word my ex girlfriend used? Give me the raspberries. I remember Rock the Boat. Jay Dandy. Jay Dandy has to interpret. He's the interpreter for us youngins. Oh, Large Marge was right. So it is the Nature Cross. Well, of course you know that, Rick. He was explaining us for us children, not for. Where are you guys? Oh, this is at Yellow Springs Brewing. This one has never been open when we've come through town. I've talked about this before, but when we ride Ohio to Erie, I've always wanted to go to Yellow Springs, but I think it just so happened we're always through on the 4th or the Sunday. So every time I've been in Yellow Springs, they haven't been open. Oh, there's another titanium bike right there, right? Isn't that Lynxy? Hey, is that how you pronounce it? Lynxski? Aren't those tie bikes? Oh, there's Pudgy's all the way on the end. The bear claw, right? It's hard to see. It's all the way over there, but I believe so. This is something I want to do more in life. And as a photographer, you think I would think to do it, but get these kind of group shots when we all go ride or get shots of people with their bikes and stuff like that. It's cool that, you know, you had this taken. I need to do this stuff more. It's like I always take pictures of things and I need to take way more, like in my free time. I need to take way more pictures of people. Now, I used to do it way more, but I guess now that I do it for a living, I don't think about it as much. But yeah, KU asked Tim, would any brake lever work with a vintage brake caliper? Yeah, like a side pull or center pull. I've never had an issue with any having enough reach to pull so far. Yeah, because even on my Trek 500, I'm running modern, or not modern, but 9 speed Shimano shifters, and they can pull like the vintage calipers just fine. I was actually going to ask that question, um, side sidebar, but if I would have any issues with my, because I've never set up, um, what do you call them, the Mayfax cantilever brakes with before, so I was a little worried that if I would have an issue with modern shifters on that, but we'll get into that in a moment after we finish Pudgy's photo. There's Pudgy's bike. Oh yeah, got the Ron's bag on there. I think I saw that someone had commented on that too, having the Ron's. So what? Erin sold her Ron's bag to Summit Perry, who then traded one with Pudgy or something like that. Since I wasn't involved in this transaction, I know there's some kind of complicated 3-way trade that happened with the Ron's bags. So I think the Linkskis are supposed to be really nice bikes, aren't they? Oh, so Pudgy says they're okay, but in his opinion, you could find better for the money. Hey, what's up, Does Tacos? So the next build is the build I'm working on right now, which we're going to go to after Pudgy's photos or maybe even a pedal brake by this time. But I got the cyclotherapy bottles. What you were saying here, that 40 mile, I remember you said, I know I read captions earlier, but now I've forgotten where I saw them. But Linsky is for dental school dropouts. Pudgy said canny equals road pool. Pull. That's good to know. Yeah, and then I could see how there's so many different ways to set up cantilevers based on, like, there's 3 holes for the spring tension, and then how far you're going to put the second cable down and all that, which I'm going to need help on for sure. Also, Erin sold hers to Summit Perry, and that's the one Pudgy wanted. He got the Carhartt Brown to trade for it. Gotcha. Yeah, so let me show. Lots of no kid havers up in this piece, that's for sure. Yeah, let me show the next build while we're chatting, and because I do have some parts, and I think I have more on this build than I've shown before, or maybe I only showed it on that one Friday matinee. Now that's right, I did show it on the last stream because Mike Holland sent me the Velo Orange stem and are they the Grand Cru bars? No, that's one of their other. What bars are they? Yeah. So they're a little narrower than I planned to go with, but I think still I'm going to go ahead and build it up like this because I kind of want to just like go with the stuff for the rest of the build that I have, except for the pedals, like I mentioned, just to get a feel for how I like it and ride it a little bit. And then, like I said, in spring, if I want to do any modifications, like I was saying, I think I might, depending how, like, spring, I meant fall. Come fall, how I feel about a few things, like maybe have Dirty River build me up a wheel set that I could go tubeless on and stuff like that, and then put these spins back onto my Trek. I don't know. We'll see, but, I think at this point I'm going to start going with what I have. So, in that vein, Erin had her pacer redone with the group set that Pudgy gave her. She was having trouble with her one hand and how far you have to push these shifters, so she went with the more modern group set that Pudgy gave her. So this is 9-speed Ultegra. So I think I'm going to go with the 9-speed Ultegra levers, and then I have both the railers, which I didn't expect because I thought she was only going to take one off. So the one thing is, the cassette she took off there is only I think a 26 or something like that. I mean, I do have that smaller inner ring on here, but one of the points of this bike was to have a much easier gear. But I think I still might just pop this on for now. You could tell it's virtually brand new. And again, just, get a feel for what that easier, what are these? What is on the Velo Orange crank set? What are those, like 24s or something? Now I can't remember because I've been busy and away from this build for a while. So it'll still give me a fairly easy gear compared to what I'm used to, which almost everything I have is road gearing. So, But yeah, start with that and then upgrade and buy something nice, something that fits exactly what I want when I start to get the feel for how the bike feels and when I'm upgrading. And that's not a big deal right off the bat. But yeah, there's definitely going to be the ideas that I could take this on more versatile terrain, more, get up more mountain bike climbs and stuff like that. So I definitely will want something different, but I think I'm just going to build it up to build it up. But so yeah, for anyone who hasn't seen this, this is a 1994 Marin, Team Marin, and out of all my steel bikes, I can't even believe it. It's by far the lightest weight. It came with a shock front fork. I found a steel fork for it that actually matches the paint perfectly. Right now, I just have an old Bontrager carbon seat post in here, but they just got some Thompsons in, and I think I'm going to get one with the setback from Dirty River. I just need to measure to make sure that the ones they have will be long enough saddle will be exposed. That's why I need to get pedals too to be able to tell that. But I think I have everything except the housings and cables now to finish this build. I also picked up these. I'm going to put some Gravel Kings on here. I decided to go a little cheaper than the Renee Airs I love. Like if I get it built up tubeless after riding it, probably end up going with those because I just really like those tires. But figuring I'm not going to put $200 in tires on a bike that I've just spent a lot of money on and going into summer as well. So yeah, that's the idea. Yeah, and like I said, I have the Mayfac cantilevers that I need to figure out how to set up and that kind of stuff. So that's where I'm at right now. Let me make this chat somewhere where I could actually see it. Eric's in the house. What's up, Eric? Kay asked what tires I recommend for vintage road bikes. The widest ones that'll fit in there, but it really depends because it depends on if you're trying to build it up to be real lightweight and you want lightweight supple size, or if you want like puncture resistant. So there's a whole spectrum in there. If you could fit 32s of anything, I'd go 32s. But yeah, Panaracer makes great tires that I would put on a vintage road bike that I do use. Doze Taco said he noticed a couple Peugeots in my videos. Is that the bikes I like the most? It just so happens I got a deal, like a really good deal, through someone I knew on a Peugeot when I was first getting into vintage bikes. So one I really like. I'm kind of a Francophile in general, so I do love them, but I also hate them because French bikes are a pain in the ass because the standards are all different. So if you're trying to upgrade them, don't go with a Peugeot. If you're gonna ever try and do like a neo retro build, everybody drink, as Pudgy would say. But so if you're gonna do a neo retro build, don't get a vintage Peugeot or any vintage French bike. But yeah, I definitely have like a thing for them for that reason. And then the second one was just I got it, same thing. I bought it for $40 and just did a completely different build on them. I like the way they look. I like French stuff, but yeah, they're better if you're going to keep them original because they're a pain. So oh yeah, then Eric, when me and Eric were hanging out, uh, or else that's where his threat came in. Uh, he was telling me to build him up a bike, and so I'm trying to think of what I could build for him. And I'm thinking something like the flat bar version of my Peugeot would be perfect. That bike's too small, but something in Eric's size that had flat bars so he could cruise around on, I think would be perfect. Feels like his subscription warrants a live threat from time to time. Oh, Sean wants to see these crank. My crank. Oh wait, wrong way. I'm holding. I'm just holding all this. I'm holding all this stuff while I talk. Yeah, that will be a good thing for the show too, to build up Erica bikes. I think it'd be kind of showing, do vintage to commuter bike build, kind of like I did with the uh, Japanese bike that I traded large for. Kind of went more sweep back bars, something a little more, for getting around that you could still go fast on if you want to. But I think after we finish the Marin, that'll be the next project for the stream. Also, what's Eric? Are you my height? Are we about the same height? Are you like about 6 feet or a little over? What did Rusty say that was smart? Oh, sweet bikes are greater than kids in his opinion. Yeah, so that's definitely the idea behind this, going from, which a lot of people are doing now. I'm not pretending like I'm not, going from vintage 90s steel mountain bike to more of the gravel bike build. Um, I just got a really good deal on the Marin. I feel like it was for what the quality of the bike is. But as Pudgy said, these just aren't super collectible yet. Like everyone wants those specialized, what is it, the rock stump jumper, rock hopper, whichever, hard rocks, all that stuff. So yeah, the really cool, wild 90s paint jobs and 80s paint jobs are the bikes everyone's going for. But quality wise, I'm super impressed with this bike. So um, yeah, I'm making my own. Bikes are financial birth control, Dylan said. I like that. Hey, what's up, Chris? How's it going? He said, "What's up? I'm naked." TT's Scrappy Cat needs an emoji. Yeah, it does. So like a one-eyed emoji. Not 10 yet, Farker. I'm trying to think, Kay, what the tires I just put. What are those classic tires I just put on my truck that everyone talks about? That are, is that Panaracer Tour rides? They're kind of just like the solid middle of the road option for all terrain on like a vintage bike. Let me look real quick. Yeah, there are no. It's the Continental Tour rides, but Panaracer has the Pasella, which is another tire I would recommend for vintage bikes. A little bit of traction, a little bit of flat protection, but not too heavy. So can't show my cranks until after 10 p.m. One thing to do, Kay, with the vintage bikes, which I always do, like the Trek 500, like I was saying, is if you can find another wheel set that's 700C, that'll buy you some clearance in the chainstays to get a little bit of a wider tire. But I have some vintage bikes that I can get 38s on, like the latest Peugeot. Um, some that I could get 32s, but then like my Schwinn Peloton, which is a bit of a nicer vintage bike, I can't fit more than 28s on there, at least in the rear. In the front, I could go wider if I wanted to. But yeah, so it's just a mixed bag with vintage bikes. But you definitely buy yourself some room by switching wheel size if it had 27-inch originally. So I'm way behind in the chat. That cat keeps winking at him. The stream's always delayed, Kay. I'm behind on the comments now, but unfortunately, like when I show the bike photos, it could be a real pain sometimes because the photo's coming up to you guys later and I'm talking about it in real time and I've moved on. So it's hard to I either have to go filler, like talk about more about the bike to wait till the comments come up. But yeah, so yeah, it just has to go through the internet and bounce around the world before you guys see it. So there's nothing you can do about that. Bull moose bars on a builder, sweet. Yeah. Tim drinks more than us, hence the delay. I don't drink more than all of you. Come on. Like now I'm more caught up on the comments, so it'll be a little more, like a little closer to where it should be, but there's always going to be a delay. It just, like I said, my feed has to bounce to YouTube. YouTube has to monitor, then put it out. It's like when you watch a reporter on a satellite phone and how the other person, you could hear him still listening to it. It's that kind of thing. All right, yeah, let's do the pedal brake, and then let's try and throw some levers on this bike. I think we could even throw at least one of the derailleurs on. I haven't checked, so I just have a box of this stuff. I haven't even looked. So I'm hoping the gamble that the Surly Pacer, and you guys might know already, has the same size tubing as this bike. So I could just put the front derailleur on as well, but I'm not sure if that'll work. Good thing is her front derailleur is a standalone for Brazon, so I could get the correct derailleur hanger for it and still use that Ultegra derailleur, which is nice. So, hey, what's up, Alejandro? Gonna go to the break so I could take a leak, and everyone can, and we'll be right back, and we'll do some bike building. Whoops, that's not the right thing. Oh, also thanks, Chris, and the other guys. I have not changed the video yet. Like I said, I've made it. I just haven't loaded it on this computer. Just keep forgetting. Chris Alto and my mind's going blank. All right, we'll be right back. I would just like to take this moment to thank the channel members whose names you see on the screen right now. Their financial support really does make it possible to continue to grow this channel. We will be back in a moment, so it's time to crack open another tea packet and start letting the F-bombs fly. Thanks, everyone.
I wanna tuna boat.
Whoops. Speaking of delay, I started messing with this lever while I was standing here to loosen it, and I loosened it too far, and I didn't want to take my hands off because I don't want to lose those. If you've ever loosened one of these too far and you lose the threads, it could be a real pain to get it back in, which I might have done. Let's see. So what were you guys, I thought I saw Kay ask about a way to measure frame size, and so with a vintage bike, it's actually really easy. There's some people have a different, but middle of the bottom bracket, crankset, crank bolt, to some people go center of top tube, and they'll say that, or where the seat post goes in. I think going center of the top tube makes more sense because sometimes, like on this bike, there's a little extra space there, but on modern bikes, it's different because they talk about effective bike size because you have a slope usually in the top tube. But with a vintage bike, it should be as easy as just measuring it. Yeah. And then depending on, I hate when people do it in inches. I think we should just stick with the metric standard for frame sizes. I wish we would do the same thing with tires as well, so we didn't have to go to inches over what, 55. After 55 you start talking in inches, but oh yeah, Rick, I forgot. I can't lie, it might have been partially motivated by you, partial my frustration through searching through wrenches, but yeah, it's a Soma with like 3 of the key sizes you need, and then it's also ratcheting, which is really nice. So you've got this nice little switch here to go between backwards and forwards. I totally did loosen this too much. See if I can get that thread restarted. That's why I didn't used to make YouTube videos live. I need to get a laser pointer, Rusty. Hey, what's up, Bicycle Dad? Been a while, I think. Well, it's been a while for everyone because I haven't been on for a while, but I also am still exploring the idea Rick said of putting on the GoPro chest mount so when I'm working on the bikes, we could really show what I'm doing. The problem is the USB-C cable, so I need to kind of secure it and then figure out how I'm not going to make a mess. There's an old pipe up here, which I don't know where it goes to, so I think if I link it over that, it'd be like one of those dog things, but then I was thinking it might actually also get in the camera too. So I'm gonna look into that more, Rick, and see if I could figure out how to make that work, because it's a great idea to be able to switch to the camera, because if you've watched these streams before, I've done multi-camera setups or 2-camera setups, because yeah, you just can't see much from the camera that I'm using, and that's why working on bikes makes better sense on videos that I'm editing and not live. But yeah, Allen wrenches are a thing of the past. Yeah, I mean, I think I just need to get and that's what I see them at the shop. So this is a really nice, the ratcheting one, and then maybe get one with the other sizes that are the next most used or something like that. And one of the reasons I would use my multi-tool is because then I don't have to search through the whole bin of, random Allen wrenches to try and figure it out. And if you've ever tried to read the size on Allen wrenches, it's a total pain. So wait, just... it's the front lever then? Oh, that must be trim adjustment. There's 3 clicks on this, but this is definitely from a, wait. Oh, no, this is this lever. It's going to go on. Wait. Come on, brain. Figure stuff out. Ah, they go on this way and up. If you're wondering why the cables are still on here, the cables had been recently redone on Erin's bike, so I don't know if they're going to fit this build, but I figured there's no reason to take them out in case they do, because at least with the brakes they should. Well, they will for the brakes. So, yes, it's ridiculous to have cables flowing out of here, but they're not worth replacing yet because they're not that old. So, and this is still one thing that is, for practical purposes, doesn't matter that much. And I was thinking originally of going basket on this bike, but if you've never used, I don't know if they switched to 10 speed. Someone would know better than me. I don't know. Pudgy might know, and I know Yonda would, uh, and Otis would. But uh, when they switch to the cables coming out the side, so these need to swing out like this, and they could be a limiting factor on baskets. So I'm also not going to tighten them down till I decide. But I did get one of those Jack the Racks from the Kickstarter, which might work on this bike. And so with that and having a lower rack platform, maybe it won't be that big of a deal. But it definitely is an issue with bike bags and baskets that you have to consider with 9-speed levers, because they're designed for road bikes and it's before they went under the tape. So something to think about if you're, because 9-speed is very affordable right now and it's super functional. I think they're great. I have a bunch of bikes with 9-speed Shimano, but that's the only one thing, is that the only thing that kind of could be a bummer is that they come out the sides like this. Oh, is William LeBron in here? Hey, how's it going, William? How much did I miss from you guys? Man, I missed a lot of I missed a lot of comments somehow. Oh, a head mount. Yeah, the head mount would work too, Rick, but I was thinking chest. Yeah, would that be better? I was thinking chest mount because it would be at like right now it'd be, think if I was running the GoPro here, it'd be right at the where the lever is. So, and also if I look back at the screen, you guys aren't getting like whiplash. So I was thinking chest mount makes more sense for that reason, because right now I'm reading the comments, and so you might get a little bit of turn with the GoPro, but with its wide lens it would still be on the bike. But but you said just waiting for Tim to make it big so you can be his live-in mechanic. Yeah, I need a live-in, or I need either a live-in mechanic or a live-in camera guy, because then I don't have to worry about the camera issues. And I saw Kai, you were asking about making a bike shiny. Um, what I do is I use rubbing compound to clean it up first, and then I wax it. If you have a lot of surface rust, I would use a really, really light steel wool and WD-40. Be careful. Um, it depends on how, like on my Roger Riviere, which had no gloss left on it at all and a lot of surface rust, I just used WD-40 and a really light steel wool, washed it, rubbing compound, then waxed it. It's never going to be shiny, but yeah, for bikes that are already in nicer shape, I definitely rubbing compound and wax. That's what I did on this bike, as a matter of fact. Did I make a video doing it on this bike? Or maybe the vintage Peugeots. But I think I probably, and like some people have made fun of me on the, I'll do it sideways so you could see it. Not made fun of me, but commenting on my Barry Hoban of having the levers higher up. Like, I know with like a road bike, the idea is to have them like straight across, and that even kind of works on some bikes I have, but on certain bars, I actually like the levers to be up higher, and that position almost gives you like a, you know, just a higher position. So And it's very comfortable coming off these bars and onto the hoods then for me. But everyone has to set up bikes that they want. One person asked me, that's right, on Twitter, someone was like, why are your levers set up like that? And I'm like, because that's where it's comfortable. Like that's the only answer you ever need to give anyone. Because that's where I like it. You know, like I was reading Otis when we've been talking about stems a lot on this show for this bike. Sent me Rivendale's like guide to stems, and that's kind of like it was interesting. That's what they said too. Like what looks cool, like because some road bike standard from back in the day is not the way you need to set your stuff up. Set it up the way you like it and in a comfortable way for yourself. So hey, what's up, party size? How's it going? Scrap the basket and go kitty litter panniers. On stream jack. Even new 9-speed Pudgy said like the one he gave Erin is internal, so under the bars. Yeah. Oh, Large is saying these probably the cables won't be long enough. On the stream jack. Wider bars for the basket too. Yeah, I think you're right. So I'm gonna start off, I think, with the Jack the Rack on this, which will work on this bike. The good thing about Jack the Rack is it's really look it up on Kickstarter if you haven't. Terry B has a video on it. Pathless Pedaled has a video on it. I'll have the production one. They have the prototypes. I think they got sent for the Kickstarter promo. But for a bike like this, I think that's where it'll make sense. But yeah, like Ben was saying, Large Marge was saying, and everything, this bike, I think this is going to be an initial setup, and it might get a second setup. So less talk, more work, party size. Oh, and then I did see the question about tape measures. I have so many tape measures around here that only do standard. So I'm always doing the conversion. I should look and see if I could find a metric one because that would be great. I'm always going to Google and doing the inch to metric conversion for everything. So Pudgy said, because it's my bike is the only response I need. Unless you're making fun of Rick's bike. Sorry. Was I not supposed to laugh at that? Is Funny Brad up in here? Okay, I keep original stems. I've done a conversion on this one, but unless you're trying to really change something, like the stems are way too long, and that's why for vintage mountain bikes, I went with this conversion to modern. Um, on all my vintage bikes, except this one, I have quill stems, and I've been able to find the length that works out. Uh, I've People could fight me on this, and I've said it before. Modern headsets, I know they're a better design, and that's where Chris King made his name from. I don't feel headsets. I can't tell. I've never had a problem with my bike turning. And I also like quill stems adjustabilities. And, once you cut a modern stem, you're kind of locked in. Well, I mean, in one direction. I, I don't know. I think there's an advantage to quill stems in a certain way. Uh, I think if you're doing super intense mountain biking, obviously modern stems and headsets are a huge advantage. but in most things, not, in my opinion. Uh, yeah, if the sizing feels good and it, if you're not noticing a like, here's one of the oldest the oldest things that you could say in the book: if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right? I mean, if you're happy with it, unless you're looking for bling or something like that for the bike, why mess with it? Less talk, more work. I know I'm gonna miss comments tonight, guys. So that's just the way it is. Can you see any of this? I didn't turn the camera or the screen. I have no idea. And again, I'm gonna reposition these when I'm not drinking on the live stream and I'm standing over the bike. So I'm not tightening them down super hard or anything like that. Which, well, you shouldn't over tighten your levers anyways. You'd rather your lever, if you ever wreck, you want you want it so you could climb up a hill and be putting pressure on them, but you don't want them so tight that they're the thing that breaks. Yeah, but another thing, just to see what this build's going to look like, it's nice to have on there. Party size says the only setup on a road bike should be a single speed 58 in the front and one tooth in the back. I'm trying. What was exactly Alejandro's question? I read it, but the biggest. Okay, question for all the roadies in the house: what is the greatest number of teeth legally allowed on the big cog of the rear cassette? Well, modern road bikes you get a 34, so that like makes it so you keep it smaller. But even the pros are running easier gears now than they used to. So, yeah. 28? I don't know. The road mic is basically my co-host at this point. No, a one tooth wouldn't be possible. How could you have a one? It needs to make a circle. I mean, SRAM has a 10. That's the smallest that exists, right? All right, let's go rear derailleur. This is also fairly short cage. So I might need to either get one of those wolf tooth drop down, whatever you call those, once I enlarge the cassette, or get a rear derailleur that has a little more reach. We'll see. I'm not sure. Oh, this is gonna. Is this a weird size? Oh no, it goes in there. That's the other thing I was talking about vintage French bikes earlier. So if you go very vintage French bike, the derailleur hanger will not be threaded, so you have to tap it out if it had a simplex, and there will be no notch for the B limiter screw. So if you want to do a neo retro build on a vintage French bike like the Gitane I showed the other day, the hole's the right size. I know I'm gonna get shit for this, but you have to get it tapped out. So you have to thread it basically. And then what you can do with a bike, a vintage French bike of decent quality with forged dropouts, you can just file the little stop in there so the B limiting screw has somewhere to stop. Just something to keep in mind for anyone who thinks they're want to fix up old bikes. I found all this stuff out the hard way, as you can imagine. All right, let's see now if that hanger is going to be the right size on the front derailleur. Here's a good question for the mechanics in the room as well, because I didn't know the answer, and Summit Perry was saying it might be an issue. Summit Perry was saying that modern 11-speed front derailleurs might not work with the super low range chain rings, and I thought it wouldn't be a problem because you can just drop the derailleur down far enough. Rick was asking for his Rivendell build, and Summit was saying that a modern 11-speed 105 front derailleur might not work with a crankset, and I think Rick's sizing was similar to this. And I didn't think that would be an issue because I thought you could just move, and on the rib it's not brazed on, so you could just move the hanger farther down. Someone let me know if I'm wrong on that. Just oh, oh, road link is what I was talking about. Oh, and there is a 9-speed you guys were saying. I missed that. 9-tooth driver is the smallest. BMX standard. E13 does 9. I've heard that a derailleur can't be too long, only too short. I think you're right because between the B limiter and how long you make your chain, so even if you have a super long cage derailleur, the way Otis has taught me to measure my chain is so you make the chain short enough so it's pulling the second pulley wheel down so it's not rubbing. So I don't know how that say way too long might affect your shifting, but I don't believe you could have a problem with too long. Definitely you could have a problem with too short. I have. When I first built the Rowley up with 9-speed 105, my cage was too short, and so when I got to the 34 tooth cog, the pulley wheel, or where the chain was, would actually be rubbing on there, and then that's when I got the word that Pudgy just told me. Where was it? I already forgot. Road link. Once I got the road link, that gave me enough distance to make it work. But yeah, you could definitely have too short. That's a real issue. So. One if the one tooth was cross-shaped. Also, though, so K too. If you're talking about vintage bikes, the ends will matter where they go in, but the housing doesn't matter if you're friction shifting. You only need the right housing if you're index shifting, which on my Barry Homan I don't have. I have Velo Orange housing all across it, which isn't the right stuff. It's not that noticeable, but you definitely will get crisper shifts with the right housing on modern or index shifting bikes. But oh, I think this hanger is going to be the right size. And it's going to go between the bottle cage bosses. Is that normal? Yeah, I guess it is. Oh, interesting. You could see how much lower the original one had to be for whatever that This bike would have come with a triple. The Team Marins came with, what was that, Dior? Did Team Marins Dior XT, I believe, right? And this bike would have had a triple on it. And again, I'm going to reposition this later. I believe, and Pudgy will know this, I think you want 2 millimeters between the top of the cage and the top of the chain rings. But we'll at least get it on here, rough it in to at least see it. So. Yep. Oh, that's interesting. So where I have to place this derailleur is coming very close to this knobby tire. I don't think it'll be as much of a problem once I put the Gravel Kings on, but it makes me glad that I did not, for at least this moment, go with the wider Rene 26s. And I'll have to see if that is a problem later, and if that's going to be, that won't be a chain line issue, but yeah, it looks like I have enough range with the derailleur. It looks good. Yeah, that's the other thing. If Disco was coming up, he wanted these tires, so I would have taken them off. But no, okay, now that I have it in better position, it's not an issue. I had it a little too turned in towards the frame. I think we're looking good. When I get the chain on there, I'll have to see. The other nice thing about these kind of hangers with the braze-on derailleurs is even once you tighten down the clamp, you have some adjustment this way. So I could loosen this and slide the derailleur up and down. So you really only have to get your the derailleur in line, really. Yeah, I'm wondering, Rick was talking about on his Riv, kind of the derailleur having enough throw if he went with longer axles. And that's what I'm looking at now on my bike. So for him to be able to get into the big ring, so he had a problem with in the inner rings, the chain was going to rub the tires, right? I believe. And when I'm looking at this straight down, now that I have longer axles on here to get the, because if you guys weren't watching, my cranks were hitting on the chain stays. So yeah, looking straight down on this, I'm going to have to see if that's an issue for me, if this derailleur is going out far enough now to be able to keep this bike in the big ring. We'll find out. I don't have a 9, because I think I have an 8-speed. Aren't chains 6, 7, 8 speed, but then you need a different chain for the 9-speed, I believe. I think that's right? 6, 7, 8 are all the same. 9 is different. So I don't have a chain here. I need to buy that. So pedals, the chain, housings. But yeah, this might be an issue. We'll have to see. And if you guys know if there's a solution for that, I would be interested, because that's something I haven't thought about. Let's see where we're at. Were you guys answering everyone else's question while I was messing around? Rusty was out, so. I see you guys have been taking care of most of the questions. Now, I think there's a lot of, and I'm not in focus, but yeah, Kay, I think that there's a lot of people here who like helping out, and that's like how I am. If I know the answer, I like helping out, but there's a lot of people in here who are smarter than me. So, and then Chris said his Apex B limit screw is way out on the 11 to 34s. Yeah. Yeah, and I got my bike to shift with the 9 speed, but the 11 speed definitely worked better with the what has a 32 on there now, but I have a 34 from Pudgy that is going to work fine for that bike. Pudgy said housing will matter on older bikes. Okay. Oh, the mic has been in focus this whole time while I was messing around. Well, at least I was talking, right? Yeah, black housing is usually, well, it's funny. I got white housing cheaper for the Peugeot because they weren't able to sell it at Dirty River because no one wanted white housing, I believe. Don't quote me on that. Damn it. Derailleurs don't need to work for index shifting. The indexing is in the levers. The clicks will be in your levers. Or in the shifters. If they click into place, you have indexed. If they move freely, you have friction. You guys probably already answered that, but I'll get there. I'll get there. J Dandy's gonna climb. Malk was out too. See ya, Malk. Yeah, and friction shifters work with all derailleurs pretty much. See ya, Chris. Oh, you're a bit late. You're not leaving. What's up, Chris? Welcome, Chris. So yeah, we got derailleurs on this bike. Got levers on the bike. Gonna have to see if this derailleur is getting out far enough. I'm a little worried about it now that I see it. Oh, I haven't checked the limit screws yet though, so it's not like I have them all the way eased up. Do I have a Phillips here? Let me see. Okay, that's reassuring. Hey, come on, face. I have a lot more leeway in the limit screws. So, what I was first nervous about, I think I will have plenty to shift this bike with this setup. So, for those of you who are just jumping on, it's 9-speed Ultegra off Erin's Surly Pacer, which wouldn't have been the original group set to that bike either, I don't believe. But have to ask Shermack. I think he bought it like that. So. Oh, Chris, you're putting oh, you got 29 rims. No, yeah, so we're good, Rick. So it definitely works on it. There's a lot of room in these limiting screws now that I look down there. There was yeah, there's a couple more millimeters of leeway in there. So we're good. I think we're good. I should grab a screwdriver and double check just to feel extra good, right? Yeah, let me grab one. Take me a second. Oh yeah, Rick, this would shift to triple right now. Yeah, it's out too far. So yeah, there was tons of leeway in there. So the kind of thing if you worked on bikes all the time, like in a shop, you would have thought about right away. But me just like talking on a live stream, did not think about. It's gonna have to be adjusted because I bet the Q factor on Erin's Pacer was way tighter than it would be on this old mountain bike, right? Oh yeah. Room for days. Room for days. Is the mic still running the show over here? Here, let's do it like this. You guys always say you can hear me even when the mic's not right in the. Cool. I mean, pretty much have a bike here now, right? We got levers, got derailleurs. I do have the brake pads. Yeah, need to pick up housings. Um, Gonna see if braking wise, I feel like these are even worth keep for the front brake. Obviously, it should be enough, but yeah, because it's gonna be cantilever. I think these brake cables might actually work. Erin's bike is definitely way shorter than this bike is. Let's Yeah, I'm not going to cut those yet. I think for at least the brakes, I believe I'm in good shape. Shifting for the rear will probably not work. Shifting. Not crazy off, but yeah, I'm not going to cut the cables yet till I get the right housing places and size and in place. But Dylan's out. See ya, Dylan. Why is it doing? I think. Well, this is an ultra wide angle lens too, so not the best for this. What we're doing. All right, Michael. We'll see you too. Um, how long is the axle? Is Large still in here to tell you exactly how long we switched this axle to? Because I feel like this axle would have to be longer than the axle on your rib would have to be, Rick, because these bikes are designed for mountain bike tires. So we switched from, is the box sitting around here? I threw away the box because I was riding my bike with it. Um, it's one up from whatever whatever Velo Orange recommends for this crankset because we bought the bottom bracket they recommended. I think okay. So Pudgy said 125. Do they make 122? I believe it would be 122. So Rick, I don't think in the first iteration of the build I'm gonna go with the basket, especially with the 9-speed. I think I'm gonna see if the Jack the Rack works for this build. Do they mark these brakes left, right? Well, the arrows will give you that indication. Oh, huh. I guess I can't install these until I have the cables hooked up, because the way the pads sit, they're going to be in the way of the fork. Right. I believe. Oh, there's large coming through. 122.5. How you okay? See it? What did I measure for disc brakes? No, the Pacer has rim brakes. Oh, so I'm running, Rick, the... There we go. This is a 9-speed Ultegra front derailleur. Yeah, let's look at some stuff over. Oh, so the whole group set will be 9-speed Ultegra, except for the cranks and the rings. So, which is another thing I always say about 9-speed era Shimano that I love is the chrome look. So when you're doing like a vintage build, or even my rally looked better with 9-speed just because of the chromed out look of it, even the levers. So they kind of, everything kind of sticks with that vibe. So that's one reason. And the chain rings on 9-speed, even though these are Velo Orange, Velo Orange, I think just look way cooler to do. So if you're going to get a vintage bike and do a neo retro build, I always really like going with a 9-speed Shimano. The look just fits the bikes way better if you don't, focus on the fact that you have drifters going on there. But let's go over here, back over here for a minute. Oh, so Rick said Riv's telling you that a 118 would limit you to 2-inch tires. So is that a problem, Rick, going with 2-inch tires? Because that's about, what am I at here? Yeah, these are 2.1s that I'm going to put on this bike, and what is on there is, oh, those are 2.1s on there right now. So I don't feel that's very limiting. I mean, these are, you know, 90s mountain bike size, so well, I think it's funny, Rick, that you're saying Riv is also telling you don't need a 3x, because that seems like such a Rivendell thing that they would love 3x's, right? Um, and the derailleur is bottom pull. It'll come up underneath, and yeah. You have to, man, that's a pretty, right? Yeah, everything is bottom pull. Yeah, Rick, how would you even know about top pull front derailleurs? That'd be like simplex shit from the 70s, right? Yeah. Oh, you're saying you would like 2.5s. Gotcha. That's that's pretty fat. So, I mean, Well, look again. Just well, what do you have on? Do you already have something super wide on your ECR? So yeah, you probably do know what you're talking about. So I forgot that you had that bike build up with wider tires. But if you do look on these 26s, here, I'll show another shot of these 2.1s. And these have side knobs. So like again, I'm guessing on the caliper, the tires I have on there, even though they're the same size, are going to measure narrower than these two. Don't quote me on that. I mean, those are reasonably fat meats, as Pathless Pedal would say, right? Oh, you said your Jameis Renegade had a top pole derailleur. No. Huh. Yeah, I knew what you meant. Yeah. Like I said, Rick, if you could pull off the triple. Oh, are both of these? Neither of these are Brazon? Well, I have two different sizes too. But I do have two different size triple Shimano front derailleurs that you could have if they would work for you. One's a 105 and one's an Ultegra, so they're both nice derailleurs. Yeah, if you pull off a triple and either of these work for you, yeah, I'd ship them for you for all the beers you bought me when we were in Philly. So, I think they're both 9-speed era. Yeah. FD 6503 and an FD 5504. So slightly different eras. The 65 or the 65 I believe is what denotes the Ultegra. The 55 is what denotes the 105, and then I think the 03 and 04 would denote the generation. But yeah, triple Shimano derailleurs. Yeah, probably this is the one that would work for you. I think this one is for oversized tubing, like an aluminum bike, if I remember correctly. But I also have, what's the one on this bike? I also have a 105 derailleur on this Trek, but that's oversized tubing, which I believe is this. So, oh, if you know your tubing specs, it's printed right on here. This is a 28.6 and a 31.8. So, oh, and I also have a hanger for a, oh, what was that? 1 3/8. Now, of course, we're back to inches. I think that's the 31.8 size, though. Jay Dandy says, the designer keeps saying don't use a triple, give it up. See, I get that too, but like Erin's crust said, you could set up the Bombora with a double, but don't ask them how to do it. And she went 1 by anyways, but if I was going to buy a Bombora, I would still set it up 2 by and figure out how to make it work. So, oh, your tubing is 31.8, Rick? Is it really? Huh. Oh, because again, this is the. I'm thinking of the rib you own, not the rib you're building. So yeah, I could totally make that work. Yeah. Pudgy said he's interested if these new wide BB projects would be a time where the new GRX 2x front derailleur would shine since it's kicked out farther. I didn't know that about the GRX, so maybe you're right. Yeah, and plus the lower range gearing in the front because it's not a road crank would make sense too. Huh. When me and Summit Perry in the Discord were giving Rick some advice on drivetrains, the one thing we didn't say was GRX, which is not cheap, but I wonder if that would be a possibility for his bike. An expensive possibility, but like really, really nice stuff. I mean, in my opinion, I know there's a lot of SRAM fans in this chat, but in this group, but I think that would be kind of awesome. Where did I miss the word steel? Oh my God. Did you guys see this? Apparently, Large Marge is the Photoshopper. So this is if Rick moved into the studio. Yeah, it's a good thing. Front derailleurs are not that expensive. I still can't get over this photo. You are correct, sir. For anyone who's watching and doesn't know, that's Rick's face. The expert Photoshopper, Large Marge. That's the best thing that I think visually has been shared on this live stream. Should I switch out to the new tires and the new cassette while we're hanging out and chatting for the rest? What time? How late is it? Oh, it's already 11 o'clock. Well, I was thinking of, well, yeah, because I have some housing to get. Um, I also do want it. So, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to get into the story. Not tonight because I'm just not feeling it. But I think I'm going to make a whole video about it and about Akron's bike riding. But I have a new crank that they got at Dirty River, crank arm, because those of you who are regulars know I got hit by a car. I'm totally fine. Like some scrapes, but totally fine. Didn't go down. But the force of the car actually bent the crank arm on my Raleigh. I was able to pull a 10-speed crank off my Barry Hoban and put it on the Raleigh and keep riding it, whatever. Will be a whole video, but so I think maybe I won't be able to stream on Thursday, I don't think, because I have a gig that goes till 8, and I think after that gig I'm going to run over and see my buddy Greg host a open mic thing. But so I'm thinking of doing a Friday matinee show where maybe then I get the housing and like really start to get this bike kind of buttoned up. So maybe I'll save changing out the cassette since it's already 11 o'clock till then and putting on the new Gravel Kings, and then maybe also throwing the crank arm back onto the Barry Hoban. Yeah, that this is how kind of how close I was to being dead, in case you're curious, because that's what it did to metal. So you could imagine what it would have done to my bones. But yeah, we'll do more work on, like I'm saying, probably Friday. That's the plan. The weather looks so shitty tomorrow and Thursday that if the weather's really nice on Friday, maybe I'll want to get a long ride in. Maybe I'll stream a little earlier, see where I get in my work. But Thursday is doubtful. Like I said, my gig ends at 8 downtown, but I think I probably want to shoot over and try and support my buddy Greg. So Friday day drinking. Thanks, Chris. Yeah. Yeah, I do like those of you who know me and those of you who are in the Discord have heard the story, but I think it's worth just showing um, how stupid our roads are built around here, where it never should have happened. I think the person was drunk, but yeah, go into more details and, you know, make a Phil Gaiman like video about it. Rick photoshops in the morning. Hey, Chris, you said you'll set up your tubeless tires with me on the next string. Nice. Yeah, so yeah, I think that's the way to go about it. Like I said, I have a video kind of about spring that I'm probably going to put out on Thursday. I think I'll make the video about getting hit. Will come out on either Saturday or Monday, depending on if I'm able to ride this week and make another ride video. Yeah, and like I said, channel members are the reason there's no ads on the live streams anymore. They cover that more than ads ever could. And I want people to be able to jump in and out of the streams as they will, so you don't have to watch an ad when you're trying to watch a live stream. That's thanks to the channel members. And then, so they get little bonuses like today. I even uploaded an uncut version of the last video, stuff like that. I need to do more of that, but try and like do more to do like some little extra features for the people who help pay the bills around here. I was curious too, with the custom emojis, are only channel members are the ones who are able to use those, or can anyone? So, like I added this one lately, just today, so we could use it. Chris says, teach us how to change tires. Yeah, a lot of cussing and a lot of anger, but depends on the rim and tire combination. Like I was saying, I did better than I thought I would getting the Gravel Kings on the vintage Peugeot last time, but I said, you know, when the first side is hard to get on, that you're going to be struggling with the second side, but I still got it. But teach us how to abort. Uncut like large Marge. Yeah. If anyone does want to support, you know, there's always that link for channel memberships, but also the swag. And like I said, there's some new swag coming out. And if you just want to hang out and talk, that's also totally fine too, because we get nickeled and dimed for everything in life, and you can only support so many things. And I fully understand that. And even just hanging out and watching and chatting is always great. So, all right, dudes, let's leave it at that. Lots of good stuff coming. So, yeah. And meetups. And hopefully now with the weather changing and the time change, a lot of more of us are going to get to ride together. So we'll talk that too. All right. And with that, I need to find the button that takes us to the outro.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Okay, this time.
Fitzwater photo.
Yeah!